Hello, welcome to Xtra Speak, Xtra Speak. On this episode, which is episode number 46, I'll be talking about a very specific time I went to A&E and the embarrassing end result. Stick with me, it will become apparent very soon. Welcome to Stephen Speak, Xtra Speak. A little more prattle on everything and nothing. Hello, yes. Welcome to episode 46. This episode is primarily going to be about my visit to A&E once when I basically. Oh, hang on. I seem to have turned reverb on. There you go. I had a bit of an echo there. I think it was about when I went to A&E one time, and that's a lot better. I don't know what I did with the sound then. Jesus Christ. At some point, I'll get this nice and polished for you all. So I went to A&E one evening. And the setup of this visit to A&E was tremendous stomach pain. And I'll set the scene. You know what? I don't even know what age it was. I think I may have been at college. I feel like I wasn't, because the only reason I say I wasn't is because my mum was sat in the hallway on the phone for the vast amount of time when I was in excruciating pain. Which means we didn't have a cordless phone. Yes, children, if there's any children listening to this, or people probably under the age of 30 maybe, phones used to have a set place in the house, generally the hallway, and that's where we all went to speak on the phone. And my mum was in the hallway on the phone, so that puts me probably at school, I would say. Maybe up to the age of 15. I don't know. Anyway, that's beside the point. I'm not going to linger on that. Why am I lingering on that? I don't know. It would have been embarrassing at any age, this story. So, I'd had one of my favourite meals that I still adore today. And you'll laugh. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on the podcast so far, but it's... I called it volcano. And basically what it was, my mum, from a very young age, she's always been quite creative with food and stuff. Especially I was quite a fussy eater. So she used to make my own brother volcano. So basically what it was is mashed potato, like creamed mashed potatoes, made into like a peak on the plate. And she used to scrape a fork up it to give it lines and texture. And then she'd pour beans on top of it. So it looked like the lava flowing down the mountain. Yeah, spoilt maybe a little bit, but it was fun and I used to eat a lot. So when I was a kid, I didn't eat a lot. You wouldn't think that now. But yeah. When I was a kid, I didn't eat a lot, so stuff like that really helped me, because I used to think it was fun and just eat the lot. So I was a little older, but she used to still make me things like that, and she'd made me sausage, mash, and beans for tea, and she'd done too much because my brother had moved away for university, so she was always making extra portions of things. So she'd made loads of mashed potato, left that on the side for when he got in from work, and I was like, "Oh, give me a bit more." So I had a massive mashed potato. I ate a lot and felt okay. I was very full, but I felt okay. Young strapping lad at the time, did a lot of exercise, so it wasn't too bad. Went up to my room to watch TV like a kid would, and probably within about 15 minutes, my stomach was starting to get painful. And it just got worse and worse and worse. And I probably lay there for about 20 minutes. And lying down, it wasn't too bad, but as soon as I moved and tried to lie on my side or anything like that, it was really bad. And eventually, my mum was on the phone, and eventually, I had to go and say something to her. I was like, "Mum, I've got a really, really bad stomach pain." And she was like, "Why? Where?" And it was across the lower part of my belly, but more on one side than the other. And she was like, "Oh, okay." And she said, "Oh, I'm sure I'm sure it'll be fine. You've eaten a lot. It's probably just because you've eaten a lot." And I was like, "Okay then." So I literally went and sat on the toilet for ages. Not a very nice image, I know. But I was literally like roasting hot. I had to like take my clothes off. I was roasting. The sweat was dripping off me. And I got back into bed, like put my dressing gown on. I was just lying on the bed. I was in so much pain. It was like really unbearable. And I probably did that on and off for a while. Mum was like kind of semi-monitoring me, but too busy gas-bagging on the phone really. But she was concerned, but she started getting more and more concerned when it wasn't going away. And I said to her, I was like, the pain is excruciating. And I was lying on the floor at this point, and I was like, it's really, really bad. So she eventually got off the phone, and she says, right, we're going to A&E. And I was like, whoa, no, we're not going to A&E. It's not that bad. It's like, it's fine. But I was literally crippled with the pain. So she says, no, I think you might have appendicitis, because someone in my school had it recently. And she says, you are at that age, and blah, 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 blah. And she went, I think that's too much pain. If you're saying, I think you're saying, like, it's bad. And I'd had some bad pain, because this was after I had a twisted testicle when I was 14. Was I 16? Yeah, so I must have been 16. So this was after my twisted testicle. So I knew what pain was, because that was the most painful thing I've ever had. Google that. It's called testicular torsion. Probably not Google it if you're a man, because me just saying that's probably made everything retract. So I knew what pain was, and this was probably not as bad as that, but it was severe. So she hustled me in the car, phoned my dad, told him what was happening. We go up to A&E. I think she phoned me out of hours at first, actually, and they told her to go up to A&E. We get there. We get kind of hurried through, kind of thing, probably because of my age and what it potentially could be. So we're sat in a room, a nurse comes to us, asks a load of questions. Has the pain subsided? Where is the pain? Blah, 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 blah. All these questions. I'm still in agony at this point, really, really in agony. And I'm just like, oh my God. And I'm thinking now, God, what if it is appendicitis? I'm going to have to have an operation. Oh, Christ, you know. I was kind of half thinking, great, I get some time off school. But half thinking, like, I had some stuff coming up that I wanted to be part of. So yeah, I was not happy about that. And eventually see a doctor. And the doctor like comes in, very concerned, asks me a load of questions, gets me to lie down on the bed. I pull my trousers down slightly just so we can get to my belly. And the pain's slightly gone off at this point. And I'm saying to Mum, like, the pain's going, maybe it was nothing. And it turns out it was nothing, because he squeezed my belly and I let out the biggest, longest fart you've ever heard in your life. And I was so embarrassed, and my mum was mortified at, like, me farting in front of a doctor. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And he went, it's fine. Is the pain gone? And I was like, yeah. And he went, I think you just needed a fart. And my mum instantly blamed me. She was like, oh my God, you made us come up here. And I was like, no, I didn't. I was in quite a lot of pain. And basically the doctor said, yeah, he says, you just had colic, basically, like trapped wind. And I was like, but I was in so much pain. He was like, yeah, he says, when you see a baby crying, next time realise the reason they're crying. He says, because that's what a baby's feeling. Like intense pain from trapped wind. And I was like, oh my God, like, Christ. And he let me sit there for a bit. He says, like, just sit here for a while, just in case something else is going on. Drink some water and stuff. And I just, like, pretty much sat there farting for about 10 minutes and felt completely fine. And he just said, like, probably not eat as much mashed potato next time, mashed potato, as Bodger would say. Or Badger. Bodger was the guy. Badger was obviously the Badger. Jesus. I get that wrong quite a lot, when I say Bodger and Badger, and I say, oh, Bodger, mashed potato. Mashed potato. God. Yeah, but I think Bodger is the Badger, but it isn't. I think it's because the song is Bodger and Badger. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, so probably just not eat as much mashed potato. But my mum was really annoyed that we'd gone up to A&E and wasted the time, but I would have been quite happy-ish sitting out. Although I did want the pain to end, which no one wants to be in pain, do they? I kind of talking about this story today because it came up in a conversation. And also Sarah's had a bad stomach, and it's kind of reminded me of what it's like to have a bad stomach and have pain in your stomach. So, yeah, so telling this off the back of my wife being in pain, really. Sorry, Sarah. But yeah, so just probably just don't overeat, and probably don't eat really stodgy stuff. I'm not saying all stomach pain is just wind, but in my case, it definitely was. And probably one of the most embarrassing things to have happened to me. Apart from getting whiplash in the shower, but I think that's a story for another time. Hope you enjoyed that episode. Check out the website. Got some new blogs coming soon. There's a few on there already, but I'm going to post another one shortly. So check out StephenSpeak.com. All the news on there, upcoming guest speaks, and my blog, and information about podcasting as well. So if you do fancy getting into podcasting, there's a little bit of information about how I got into it, the way I do podcasting, the equipment I've got, and the host that I use to upload my podcast to, which is Buzzsprout. Yeah, brilliant. No worries. Take care of yourselves, and I'll speak to you all soon. You've been listening to Stephen Speak Xtra Speak. Thanks for listening to my unscripted prattle on everything and nothing. Visit StephenSpeak.com for updates, information, and my blog. You can follow more updates on social media at StephenSpeakPC. Thanks very much, and I'll speak to you soon.